Okay, we're going to learn how to put the circle of fifths together on the board. That is the chart that you will see on the final. And let's start by labeling it. First of all, there's a major and a minor aspect to the circle of fifths. So let's start by on the top space. We know the outside of the circle is all major, and all of the ones that we're going to write inside the circle will be minor. So we have to start by writing that. The other thing is the arrows. Going clockwise is the fifths. Going counterclockwise is the fourths. It's important to write that in. Okay, now at the top, we're going to start with a major circle of fifths, so it's outside of the circle. And we're going to start with the letter C. And C is the first one we use. Now, going to the fifths, literally on the staff, it's going up a fifth. So I'm going to pretend right here, let's use treble clef for right now. We're using the letter C. Okay, we've got a C. We're going to go up a fifth, counting every space and line, starting with the number one is the note we start on. So we're on letter C. We've got C, so 1, 2 would be the space, 3 is the line, 4 is the space, 5 is the line. So that note in treble clef is G. So this is going to be G. Let's try the next one in bass clef. So we're going to start on G in bass clef, which is the line. We go counting every space and line, starting number 1 as the G. 1, 2 is the space, 3 is the line, 4 is the space, 5 is the line. And that is a D in bass clef. So the next one is D. That's why it's called the circle of fifths, intervals of a fifth. There's another way to use that using the piano. A fifth on the piano is 7 keys. So I'm going to shift our view over to the piano. And you'll see on the far left there, we have the letter C. 7 keys for the fifths. 7 keys. Okay? So we start on C, but we don't count C as number 1. Okay? That's an important thing to remember. So we start by going every piano key, counting 7. Do not count the one we start on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's how we get our G. Okay, now starting on G, for the next one, G, don't count the G as number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's how we find our D. And that's how we got those letters back over here on the circle of the fifths. Okay? And that's where you'll see C, G, D. Okay? Now I'm going to go a little bit fast here. D, a fifth up is an A. A fifth up is an E. A fifth up is a B. Okay? And this one we're going to call 2 names. A fifth up from B is an F sharp and a G flat. And if you look over on the piano, you'll see that we'll do this one together too, the letter B. So we're going to start on B, go up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It says black key. And this black key has 2 names, F sharp and G flat. F sharp and G flat. It's called enharmonic notes. And so it has 2 names. So we're going to label it 2 names there. Okay? So we're going to call it F sharp and G flat. We keep going around the circle. This would be, you're right, D flat. Okay? Then we go up to A flat, E flat, B flat, and F. Now, there are some patterns here, and there's a reason why we used flats over here, and we didn't use both names. Here's the reason. These parentheses over here, they all mean how many flats are in that major key signature. That's why we're learning the circle of fifths. So C has no sharps or flats. There's no parentheses by it. As we go on the left side of the circle, the first one up here has 1 flat, then 2 flats, then 3 flats, then 4, and 5 flats. Okay? Let's go on the right side. Starting on the top, we've got 1 sharp, then 2 sharps, 3 sharps, 4 sharps, and 5 sharps. Okay, and that's how we get that. Now down here, it's 6 sharps. If we're in F sharp major, we use 6 sharps. If we're in G flat major, we use 6 flats. Okay, and that's how we get that. So now if we go over here to the D flat, the reason why we call it D flat and not C sharp is because there are 5 flats in that. So we want it to correspond with D flat and not C sharp because we have 5 flats, okay? Flats on this side, sharps on that side. This F is the only one on this side that doesn't have a flat by it, okay? That's important to keep in mind as well. It has one flat in the key signature, but it's F major, not F flat major, okay? So, we are good on the major side of things now. I want to give you one other hint that's kind of nice. You all remember the order of the flats? BEAD, greatest common factor, that acronym, BEADGCF. Well, you'll see it in the major scale, the circle here, going counterclockwise. BEADGCF, or BEAD, greatest common factor. And then over here you'll notice, after a middle factor, we start adding flats to things. BEAD, or BEAD, but they have flats on it this time. And then G, for G flat, greatest. And it stops, right? So that's another way that you can memorize that. There are 2 ways. Okay, let's start worrying about inside the circle now. It's the minor. So now we're going to start on C. And what we do is we go down to minor third from C. Down to minor third. We can use that on the staff. Let's pretend we're in treble clef. Here's a C. We go down to minor third. 1, 2, 3. A. That's all it is. Okay? Pretty easy. All right? Let's try and jump in bass clef, pardon me. Here's our C. We go down to third. 1, 2, 3. There it is. A. That's an A in bass clef. And that's how you would find that relative. The other way that we can do that is by using the piano, and I'll get to that in a moment. Let's do a few more here. Let's go this way. So G, okay, we find a G, and we're in treble clef now. Treble clef, there's our G. We go down 3. 1, 2, 3. There it is. It's an E. Okay, let's go to the next one and try it in bass clef. Bass clef for like the trombones and tuba and timpani. So we have a D, bass clef. We go down 3. 1, 2, 3. B. Okay. All right. Next one. A. Let's pretend we're in treble clef. Here's our A. We'll go down 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's an F. But wait a second here. We're not going to call it F, and here's why. How many sharps are there? We have 3 sharps. What are they? Remember, fat cats go down alleys eating birds. That's our acronym. Fat cats go down alleys eating birds. Fat cats go. We use the first 3 in the acronym. Fat cats go, because there's 3 sharps. So, is F sharp in this key? Yes, it is. That's why we put a sharp by it. It's one way we can describe that. Okay? That's why we use F sharp. Okay? Let's try it from E. Okay? Let's use it in bass clef. E, 1, 2, 3. C. Okay, let's see. Is it a sharp or is it not a sharp? Well, fat cats go down. Fat cats. Oh, it is a sharp. C's are sharp. So I've got to put that as a C sharp, not a C. Okay? Now we can go around the circle like that, but I'm going to show you a way to use it with the piano. So we're going to use B. We're going to go down a minor third, and using it on the piano, here's what we think about using the piano. Starting on B, we go down 3 keys. We don't count the first one. Whenever we use the piano, we don't count the first one. Go down 3. 1, 2, 3. What's that? Oh, G sharp or A flat? Which one do I use? Well, here's how you know which one to use. If you refer back to the circle of fifths, you'll see that, is there sharps or flats over here? Yeah, there's sharps. So we use G sharp. Okay, and I'm going to kind of quickly fill some of these in. Oh, this next one I should explain. Since we labeled F sharp and G flat, we're going to label both minors here. So we're going to put D sharp and E flat, because it can be either or. D flat is B flat, It's real important that we put our flats in where they're supposed to be. There's no flat by F here, okay? Because F is not flat. 4 flats, B, E, A, D. Bead. The first 4 flats are B, E, A, D. Oh, that doesn't include F, so F is natural, okay? Okay, now I want you to notice a pattern in the minor keys. C, B, E, A, D, G, C, F, or bead, greatest common factor. We see it again, don't we? Just like we did on the outside. You'll see it inside as well, okay? And then these are just kind of tricky. There's not really a trick to getting those right. You can't just go around the circle and bead greatest common factor. But on those, you'll have to use minor third down on the staff, or go and use the piano, which is over there. And that should help you in filling out the circle of fifths.